Hello, Loft fam. My name is Dominique, Dom, whatever floats your boat. It is wonderful to meet you if I haven't met you. And yeah, if I haven't met you, let's grab coffee or something. Anyways, I'm super duper excited to bring this kind of devo to you guys. When I was looking through the list of chapters to choose from and the names associated with them, the name Yearning Bowels, it did something for me. I was like, that's kind of dope. That's a different name. So, let's try it out. And I was right. It was really very convicting, message for me. So I hope it can bless you, today. So, the kind of primary passage that this devo comes from is Jeremiah 31:20. To give you some context on the book of Jeremiah, Jeremiah is a book that's not super easy to read because it is laden with sorrow. Jeremiah is a prophet. He's speaking to the people of Israel, and it's not necessarily a book of lament, but he is grieving and mourning the sinfulness of his people. The Lord is speaking through Jeremiah, and just sad because the people of Israel have been doing some kind of garbage, trash things. And Jeremiah's like, look, if you don't repent and stop doing this stuff, stop tripping, these are things that are going to continue to happen. However, in the middle of this book, we see this shift from condemnation, from warning, into this part where I'm just going to read verse 31:20 to you guys to kind of give you a taste of what Jeremiah is saying. So he says, "Is not Ephraim my dear son, the child in whom I delight? Though I often speak against him, I still remember him. Therefore my heart yearns for him. I have great compassion for him, declares the Lord." This is really significant because when he says the name Ephraim, it's kind of synonymous with Israel. So he's talking about his people. And he says, do I not remember him? Now, we know that the Lord isn't forgetful, right? He's not actually saying, oh, I have to make a concerted effort to remember these people. It's kind of a signifier to some covenant language that he's using. He said, I've made a covenant with these people. I'm going to keep it. That's kind of the vibe behind the word remember. He also says my heart. So the reason that this chapter is called Yearning Bowels is that in some versions it says my bowels, my guts, my heart. It's really the idea that the Lord's entire being is yearning for his people. And this is because of who he is. Jeremiah has made it very clear that Israel has been participating in the utmost garbage up until this point. And so the Lord's mercy here, him remembering, agreeing to stick by this covenant, it doesn't have anything to do with Israel. It has everything to do with who God is. And he yearns for the real version of us, not the version that we might portray out in public or on social media. It really causes us to pause and think, is this the God that we picture in our minds? The book makes a really cool distinction between how we view God's view of us in the midst of sin and then in the midst of suffering. So it's kind of reasonable to expect that the Lord would be compassionate towards his people as they're suffering. We've all suffered different things and grieved different things. And in those moments, when it's not necessarily the result of our direct sinfulness, it can be a little easier to believe the Lord has compassion for us. He yearns for us. What's very difficult to believe and make that distinction is that the Lord still yearns for us. He still has compassion for us when we are sinful, when we're in those periods of rebellion. And so I guess as I was reading this, it really caused me to stop and think like, hey, what is my view of the Lord? Do I have this accurate view of God? Do I truly believe that the Lord is compassionate towards me? in the midst of my sinfulness? Or when I sin, do I go and try to hide or try to run and avoid him because I'm worried about his anger? When so many things in the Bible point to the exact opposite of that, point towards his compassion and his mercy on us, not because of me, but because of him. And so I think kind of the main point that I'd like to leave you guys with, and to continue ruminating on myself, is that I have to repent of my small-minded version of the Lord. I have to repent of that, one, and then turn towards him and accept his love. Let him love me, the full version of me, not just the version that serves at church or that loves people well on Fridays, because on Mondays it's a little more difficult, but all of me. And really let that love be the catalyst to changing those areas of my life that still have sinfulness in them. So yeah. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me today.